Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, I want to talk about the root cause of failure for pretty much most of the people out there in modern society. And I would say that this is a modern society problem, right? So the biggest cause of failure, right? It doesn't matter what it is that you're doing, whether you're starting a new business, YouTube channel, real estate investing, velocity banking, paying off debt, no matter what it is, right? The reason why you're going to fail in life, if you have failed, is simply because you don't focus your efforts on just one or two things. You're doing like 10 things at once, right? And I always am amazed just how busy people are, but they're not effective. And that's what you want to do. You just want to do one or two things at once. And I don't know if you ever heard of the Bruce Lee quote where he says, I fear the man who has done the same kick 10,000 times rather than the man who does 10,000 kicks once, right? I don't know if you ever heard that quote, but it's a really good quote. And it's funny, it's like Bruce Lee's been dead for what, 40 years, 50 years? I don't know. It's more than 50 years? Is that right? Well, that sounds crazy. But my point is that too many people are doing 50,000 kicks one time, right? And you just got to do one or two things and be good at those one or two things, and then you can only focus your attention on so many things. And so an easy example of this is just this YouTube channel. You'll notice there's no TikTok presence, there's no Twitter presence, it's just a YouTube channel. Now I get it that there are people who are way more successful than me in this space and do every sort of social media possible, but I'm not going to work 100 hours a week just to maintain that level of success. But I want a little bit of traction here. And in order for me to do that, I'm just going to focus on one thing, crank out a few YouTube videos, just focus on YouTube. And I've been able to successfully grow this channel to 1,700 subs in about 6 months from nothing, right? There was no Korean Atlanta mentorship, literally, like, I don't know if it's 6 or 8 months ago. Actually, let me take a look at this here. Um, June 17, 2023, right? Like, I literally thought when it was like 2015, that was way too late to start YouTube. And then I came to a conclusion. Wait a minute. There's never a point in life to never a point in life that's too late to start anything in life, right? That's why I just started the YouTube channel because my mindset had changed, right? And so the issue is that a lot of, and this happens, a lot, and I see this happening when I talk to other people what their plans are. Like sometimes they get on phone calls with me and or Zoom calls one on one and say, "Oh, I want to do real estate investing and I want to do X, Y, Z, self life insurance, do infinite banking," and I will tell you, I know very little about infinite banking other than it's a life insurance policy, right? So I know of it. I'm never going to make videos of it because I'm not an expert on it, right? I do velocity banking just because I'm just following the one principle that I'm not going to do too many things and be an expert on everything. I'm going to do one or two things, and I'm going to do those one or two things well, right? But so many people, they get the shiny object syndrome where they see one thing, right? They really are into it, and then somebody else shows their other shiny object, and then they drop that one thing or do the other thing, and then so on and so forth, right? And this happens at every stage of life, and I think it's a modern society problem, right? Doesn't matter where you live. Every country has their own version of this, some worse than others, right? And so, again, so what's the main cause of failure? It's just you're doing way too many things at once. And you ever notice that how everybody's busy, but nobody's really doing anything? Because I talk to people all the time. We're just like, oh, I'm so busy doing this. Like, dude, you don't have like just an hour to chill or just relax or just share ideas and go back and forth. They're doing so many things, and I remember this is true at every stage of life. So, for example, when I was in high school, um, I just want to hang out with my friends, right? But the type of environment that I grew up in, when you grew up in an upper class neighborhood, one of the things that's kind of emphasized is like competitive schooling. And so there are like so many people out there who are taking like six AP classes and then after school programs and then what else? Like play sports at a varsity level, and be a president of some Make a Wish club, right? Like you ever remember those? I'm pretty sure they still do have them. And it's like they're doing like 20 things at once, and then once they become an adult, you ever notice that a lot of college kids or graduates these days really suck at what they do? Like they're even worse than my generation. Like you give them like basic directions, and they just act like they've already done it and they didn't do it, and they're like, what's going on? In fact, like there was a study that said like I don't know, like 50% of employers avoid hiring Gen Z employees or something like that. I gotta look that up. But my point is that doing too many things at once really destroys your mind, right? So if I were a young high school student, I would just focus on maybe one or two subjects to kind of master it. And, you know, I wouldn't take like six AP classes. Maybe I have an interest in, I don't know, Spanish. So I'm just going to solely focus on Spanish. And I have a I'm interested in learning, I don't know, wrestling. So that's the only two things I'm going to focus on, right? And then once you've gotten to a point where you've sufficiently mastered whatever one or two subjects you have mastered, then move on to the next thing, right? But so many people are doing like six, seven, eight things at once, and they suck at all of it, right? They suck at every single thing that they do, and that's because they think that um, looking busy is like a status symbol. You ever notice that a lot of people they're like, "Oh, I'm so busy," or "Oh, it's like, whoa, 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 slow down. Like, what are you good at? What are you trying to do in life?" And sometimes like you just try to like get them straight and just say, "Hey, like, what's your actual goal?" They can't like give you a straight answer because it's like this weird uncomfortableness that they know that they're full of BS. And so it's just like that's how they just, live day to day just because they don't want to like face reality, right? But it's true it's every stage of life where everybody's just busy but nobody's really doing anything. And I would really say that the main cause of failure in your goals is that you're just not focused on one or two things. There was a time in my life where I used to play the guitar like 8 hours a day, and then I don't play any. I won't even touch a guitar anymore because, like, again, that's not the focus of my life, right? Just be good at the one or two things that you're good at, and then once you've sufficiently mastered that, or you've lost interest, move on to the next one or two things. But so many people out there are trying to do like 20 things at once, and then wondering like why they're not good at what it is that they do, right? And you know what's funny? The reason why I like the velocity banking strategy so much is because there's this phenomenon called segregation of income, right? So it's like you're making. So let me actually just write this down. Segregation of income, and all this means is that when your paycheck comes in, your paycheck is split in so many ways, like loan one, loan two, right, and then credit card one, credit card two, credit card three, 401k, savings, you know, whatever, checking. You see how like your money comes in and then it's split up the wazoo. And it's kind of like it's kind of like very similar to what I'm talking about here, where your money is just doing too many things at once. And the reason why I like the velocity banking strategy so much is because you're putting your entire paycheck into one place and making it work from there, right? So it's kind of goes with the philosophy that matches what I'm thinking or that what I resonate with as why um, I would not fail or I attempt to not fail with money. But who knows? Tomorrow I could be broke. But yeah, so this is what I would consider to be the main cause of failure in modern society is that we just don't focus on one or two things, right? We focus on 20 things at once. It doesn't matter if we suck at all of them because being busy is status symbol and most people just don't, I don't know if their mind is fried, but doesn't it just feel like that? Everyone's just burnt out and tired and their mind is fried and it's like we're living in zombie land sometimes. But yeah, so here's the thing. If you want to get your life together, right, and you're feeling freaked out, learn to cut stuff from your life. And I think that's like another Bruce Lee quote too, where it's like it's not about adding more stuff. It's about cutting the stuff that you don't need, right, and refining and refining and refining. So, all right, well, this is Karina Atlanta Mentorship. If you're interested in joining our group, go ahead and click the Google form link below. Other than that, have a great day and happy Friday.